Hey guys, look, of course it is much easier to live a fulfilled life if you are very handsome. That's a no-brainer since good looks lead to more friends and more partners. However, there is no guarantee that every Chad will be happy from birth to death. At some point age is kicking in. Many boyos think that this won't affect Chad, since he still has good genes, but that's not how humans function. You can have the perfect genes and people will still be disgusted by you if you have an accident that destroys your skin. It's just a human instinct. If somebody looks sick, injured or different, we don't want to be close to him. Of course there is a good chance that Chad will find a wife that loves him endlessly. Ronald Reagan's wife, for example, was obsessed with him until he died, but there are also cases of men that can't deal with aging. They lose their hair or their pretty face and still think they can get young girls. Since those girls never knew his original looks, all they see is a creepy, overly confident old boomer.
Can you please go away? I don't want to talk to you.
You're a beautiful girl.
Okay. Can you go away?
You're from here, from here?
What?
You're from here, from here?
I just want you to leave, okay? Just leave me alone.
This is free space.
Just go somewhere else, okay?
This is...
Just go. I'm asking you to leave or I will call the police, okay?
When people get older, the opposite gender will most likely lose interest in them. But what about the same gender? There is super interesting study about women giving other women haircut advice. The results basically go like this. If a woman is allowed to decide whether another woman should have longer or shorter hair, the deciding woman will subconsciously or intentionally cut off more hair than necessary. In other words, woman X wants to make woman Y look less attractive. The more attractive the woman getting the haircut is, the more likely it is for other women to ruin her appearance. Now, before you are all getting mad at women, wouldn't you do the same? Wouldn't you make all other men shorter, weaker, and uglier if you could? That's completely rational evolutionary speaking. And that's also the reason why old guys don't get respected by default. If you hear some old fart yapping about his success with women in 1972, you aren't thinking about what an awesome man he is, you are just seeing some out of touch boomer who is stuck in the past. We as humans don't suddenly get old from one day to another. It's a slow process, and I think that's why it's so hard to understand for people that aging is a real thing and something you have to deal with before it's too late to still achieve your goals. One of the typical male copes is thinking they will still get a young girlfriend even at a higher age. One of the typical female copes is thinking that it's never too late to start a family. In both cases, people are denying biology, and I think we as a society are clueless about nature more than ever. I have to admit that people trigger the shit out of me on TikTok. I don't know if any one of you grew up having cats. The thing about cats is that they are really funny and beautiful animals, but they are still animals. For example, a male cat during mating season might chase female cats. He isn't really thinking about consent, if you know what I mean. In TikTok logic, mentioning this is a big no. Nature is always good. If your male cat is chasing females, it needs therapy. People have distanced themselves so far from nature that every bad behavior, even from animals, must have some social reason. And you can see it everywhere. Genes aren't a thing, aging isn't a thing, diseases aren't a thing. We just distance ourselves from everything bad in world, but of course sooner or later all of those things come back and bite you. On one hand, it's a miracle that humanity was able to create a society in which people can live completely delusional. On the other hand, waking up from this delusional is absolutely devastating for many people. I mean, in the end, nobody can escape death, pain and suffering, but you should at least have some awareness that those things are part of life. It helps you to appreciate the moment and to reach your goals. If you are delusional about aging, you might be waiting way too long to start with the things necessary to improve your life.